This is going to be controversial to say, but I'm going to say it anyway, because you may know somebody in this industry, but it's just the truth. All these tech companies that are laying off thousands and thousands of employees, right, they've got it all wrong. We need to stop with that. We need to be laying off the people that think they can predict the future. All of these people that are making hundreds and hundreds of dollars of telling this imagined future. Hey, come over here, I can tell your future. $500 though. Fire them all, because they're all frauds. Because not one of them could have predicted that one of the most controversial questions now to ask anybody in 2023 is, well, you know the answer. What is a woman? Our ancestors must be looking down in absolute shame right now, in absolute shock. Now, I don't know if they're shocked over the fact we ask this question in the very first place, or that when people do get asked the question, they don't give the real answer. They just, well, they're too scared, because they know if they give the real answer, people will label them all of these lovely buzzwords that apparently somehow, some way, hold more power than freedom of speech. We've all seen it, right? We've all seen people in high positions of power not able to answer the question. We've seen it in America. We've had it in the UK. We've had Nicola Sturgeon. We've had Labour leader Keir Starmer not able to answer the question like a normal functioning human being. Thankfully, the British Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, didn't fall into that trap. The man himself, the man of the hour, Piers Morgan, interviewed Rishi Sunak about 24 hours ago. Whenever you're seeing this, could be 48 hours, but they spoke for about 30, 40, 50 minutes on all things. You know, they spoke on the NHS, they spoke on inflation, immigration, Ukraine. Basically, Rishi Sunak was just telling everybody, look, don't worry guys, the future looks good. Just trust in us, please. We've got all the answers. Yeah, mate, I don't know if you've realized, but people have more faith in this sort of lock than they do with the stuff coming out of the mouths of politicians. But I think Piers Morgan posed this what is a woman situation to Rishi Sunak because we've had this recent controversy in the UK where Scotland were going to hold a transgender woman, so a biological dude, in a woman's prison even though they were convicted of committing 2 R-word crimes. So they were going to put a biological man who could overpower women in a woman's prison who then he could potentially harm. Just make it make sense, because I'm struggling here. But that's the world we're living in right now. And yeah, Rishi Sunak's answers were interesting. I didn't expect him to go down this route because, as we know, as I stated earlier, everybody's too scared to say the truth. But I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to let the British Prime Minister speak for himself. I must warn you, it's still very robotic, but enjoy.
The world's most controversial question, bizarrely, has become, what is a woman? We know that Nicola Sturgeon can't answer that. We know Keir Starmer can't answer that. You're the British Prime Minister. What is a woman?
Yeah, of course I know what a woman is, an adult human female. And what you're actually, though, asking when you ask that question is, I think, you know, what's my approach and view about how we as a society grapple with a situation where people are questioning and wanting to change their gender, their identity.
Well, we've just had this shocking case in Scotland where a male to 2 women, before he comes to trial, suddenly decides to transition to be supposedly a woman. He gets convicted as a woman and then gets sent, first of all, to a woman's prison where there will be other women for him to attack. And his ex-wife says, well, this is ridiculous. He's just doing this because he wants the soft option of being in a women's prison. He's now been sent back to a male prison, and therefore we have to assume is now being categorised as male. But this shows the problem of limitless gender self-identity. This is where it takes us.
I completely agree. It absolutely does show some of the challenges with this. I mean, look, first of all, we must and should have enormous compassion and tolerance and understanding for those who are questioning their gender and identity and wanting to change, and we will always be supportive of that. Of course we will. Just when you see and that's why biological sex really matters in
yeah,
in
I mean, to me it's immutable. That's what it is. It's biological sex. When you see what's happening in sport, where you see trans women athletes demolishing women female athletes, what do you feel about that?
Yeah, well, I think that doesn't strike most people as being fair, right? So, and so that's why, when it comes to these questions, biological sex matters.
I think on this safety. You're completely right. I'm glad you've said what a woman is, because a lot of people were thinking, why can't we say what it is anymore?
I mean, yes. And look, I'm married to one. I have 2 daughters, and it's really important that they grow up in a society where their needs are respected, whether it's, you know, how they want to be treated when they're in changing rooms or sports, but also their safety.
Well, it is nice Piers Morgan can sit there and say Rishi Sunak offered a logical explanation, let's say, in these crazy times. I do think he could have gone a little bit further myself, because there are articles coming out and blaming the Tories now for woke ideology somehow, some way. So I do think he could have gone a little bit further to push it away from his party, but that's just me. I do also think if it was another politician sat in that seat, they would have glossed over it. If it was Keir Starmer, it would have been a deer in the headlights situation. If Piers Morgan said to Keir Starmer, "What is a woman, mate?" he would have been like, So, Rishi Sunak did go down the right route, I think. I think he could have said a little bit more. The public reaction to this is mostly positive. A lot of people agree with him. People are applauding him. There are some negative reactions, as there always is, and we'll get into those in a bit. But I do think this is going to be a big talking point in the next UK election and the US one as well. I think you'll agree with me. So Rishi Sunak saying this stuff does help him a little bit because obviously Keir Starmer isn't able to do it himself. But Rishi Sunak's going to have to do a lot more if he thinks he can just say this and he's going to win, because there are so many issues the UK is facing. You can't just say, oh, a woman is a biological woman and expect people to come out and vote for you, right? But as terrible as the Tories are, right, we all know this, as incompetent as they may be, what scares me is because the polls show that Labour are actually going to win the next election, and we're 2 years away, so they've got a lot of work to do to try and fix that, right? But it concerns me that we could have a Prime Minister in 2 years who can't even define what a woman is, because that's going to cause a lot of situations to arise within the UK. Now, I could sit here and talk about UK election situations, etc., all day long, but I've already started planning content to when that time comes. I've got a lot of things I want to do, so hopefully you're all still here by then. It's going to be a very fun time. However, remember I said there was some negative reactions to Rishi Sunak's comments, as you could probably imagine, and they're just as woke as you may think they would be. He's not even trying to hide it now. This is the most overt and blatant display of his government's views, right-wing and 100% anti-trans. He's even adopted KGK's dog whistle. So we now know Rishi Sunak is transphobic. Remember I said at the beginning, oh, the lovely buzzwords. British trans people are in trouble. Sunak has just come out with a load of transphobic dog whistles. I know what a woman is, an adult human female, thus invalidating someone like me. Funny thing is, having your views, your strict views on the world invalidates a lot of other people, so you can't have everything. But yeah, all emotional responses, they're all the same. I couldn't be bothered to sit here and screenshot them all because it would just literally be me going in circles and circles and circles. He's transphobic, because that's all they say. They don't have anything else to say. I actually think if these people got off Twitter for a bit, because we all know they stay on it way too long, and they went outside, breathed the fresh air, did something positive, they would feel a little bit better and their lives would be a lot happier. But what do I know? But what is your opinion on Rishi? Actually, that's a bad question to ask. I know most people's opinion on Rishi Sunak. Let me reframe that one. What is your opinion on this interview? What is your opinion on Rishi Sunak's take in this interview? Do you agree with him? I would love to know. If you have enjoyed today's video, ladies and gentlemen, then please for me, make sure to also leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that big red subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. But until next time, it has been your boy JD. Please for me, make sure to always have a great day and stay safe. I'm out. Peace.